Greetings, mortals. I am Natus, the ruler of the underworld, and it's time to talk about some manga chapters. So yeah, this week has actually been a pretty, I would say, solid number of chapters that came out, so we do have a lot to talk about, so let's not beat around the bush for it. So we'll start off with This Time for Torture Princess, chapter 241, Torture 241. Which again, I always find it funny when we have chapters that have like absolutely nothing to do with a princess or torture in at all, and yeah, we have them for multiple times, multiple ones in a row. Like the previous chapters focus on Demon King and his family, and this chapter focuses on Demon King and his family, even though they have nothing to do with the title at all. I mean, I get giving side characters more room to flow and all that, but it's just kind of funny how like there's literally nothing to do with anything. But whatever. So we started the chapter off with what we set up in the last chapter with the Demon King going to Momo-chan's entrance ceremony to the new school and being the first grade and all that. So expect a lot of inner monologue from the Demon King, and we start off very quickly with the Demon King, first sitting in a row with all of the rest of the parents and all that, as he sees the Momo-chan and the rest of her class or her grade enter in, and he's very impressed with how determined and serious they are to start their school year when they're at the age where that actually mattered, which I really do have to wonder how this is gonna look like when they're gonna be teenagers and that angsty era. Although I suppose with how wholesome the Demon Kingdom or whatever this is called is, it's possible that they will not even have the angsty era or the angsty age or whatever you want to call that time period of your life. But anyways, we established a running gag that's going to be in this chapter with the Demon King saying that he gives the Mount China grade 100 points with how determined they are to start everything. As then the teachers announced that the second graders are going to sing a song, which was what they seem to be doing here with every single grade singing one song, with the first graders finishing it and Harold even was impressed by how they were able all to know the song perfectly. But and he's even like, "Oh, what are you gonna do now for second graders?" But well, I guess he wasn't aware of a little detail. The little difference between first and second graders, because the difference between these two is that first graders, while they all did sing the song to the fullest, but at least that's the way it's kind of portrayed, they kind of sing all over each other. It's like who is the loudest, who talks fast. Like it was kind of very random. While the second graders all sing in perfect unison. They like they're an actual choir. They actually practice to be together. They actually work there. So Harold is very shocked by this, and he even starts comparing it to like how you have like a sports team that like trains really hard. You can kind of be very impressed by them, but then they get into like internationals or nationals, and they get completely blown by competition because that's just how much better they are. So yeah, he is completely shocked by that, and he gives second graders 1,000 points for their showmanship because they're clearly bad in Momo-chan. And he's kind of devastated by this because like he first thought it would be like uh he basically makes it down. It's like, I see. So from kindergarten, so so there's such a big gap between final age of kindergarten to the second grades and all that, because Momo-chan was because Momo-chan is now first grade, and he thought it was like gonna be somewhat similar, but there's clearly a gap, which is kind of true when you really break it down in school's career, because like every time you're in any kind of school, you're always kind of like you are in, even if you are the best in one point in the school life, and whenever you have like a transition, you're always gonna be completely like opposite. And even to me, honestly, every time I go to a different school where I was at once I'm at bottom, then I'm in the middle, then I'm at bottom, and then I'm in the middle. Like I mean, I'm not top scorer, but it's kind of a funny little thing that is always something that happens in spent in school. So I guess Harold was not aware of this. But yeah, anyways, then Hallowed, while he's kind of still reviewing from seeing how big of a gap between second graders and first graders is, he notices that there's like a lot of like small teachers at school, but then looks a bit closer, he sees a name tag, as he sees these aren't small teachers, but actually fifth graders that are helping with the school, assembly and all that for the first graders. As he even remembers, oh wait, some of them were leading the first graders in here and all that. So he's like, oh my god, these kids are so amazing. They are only able to help the teachers. 1,000,000 points! As he's just screaming this through his hat. Which, to be fair, if he did get alive, he would be, oh my god, the Demon Lord uh, is so proud of how we are raising our kids or something. It's kind of like similar thing as in that like Alf anime where the elf just talks random shit, but everyone's like praising her because they view her like a goddess. Like I would imagine if Hallowed would have like a similar reaction if he did start declaring about like 100 points to the first graders, 1,000 points to the second graders, 1,000,000 points to the students helping teachers. Like, but he keeps in his monologue because that's kind of what he does. Like a lot of things he just keeps to himself. But yeah, anyways, then the school summer is over, which fine enough looks like it took the whole day, which I'm not sure if that's like a Japanese thing because I'm pretty sure that the way that schools work in my place, it's like you come to school, you're there like for 2 or 3 hours just to get like the general lowdown of stuff information. Then you just kind of call it at the end of the day. But regardless, in this instance, it's kind of the similar thing. So yeah, and then while Hallowed and his family are leaving school, I think Momo-chan's mother, which I don't know if we got her name, or maybe I'm just blanking on it, but regardless, she talks to Momo-chan, and Momo-chan is like very happy about it, tells them even that the fifth graders are gonna show her them around the school tomorrow and all that, which kind of makes clicks with the Hello. This isn't like a competition about which grade is the best, which students are the best. It's more like these are all comrades. These are seniors and juniors. So having them compete with one another is kind of really pointless. As he realizes that, he even kind of says out loud what he's thinking of, which just confuses Momo-chan because they don't know that he has like these novel length inner monologues with everything. So yeah. But anyways, then Momo-chan notices and Hallowed's wife knows that fact that he has like that ID that's supposed to identify what the parents are. That he still has it name tag for the parents or whatever they are. That he still has it around his neck. That he's supposed to return that after they leave. Which is kind of like, oh, I guess the only one who's been lacking today was me. 0 points for the Hallowed, which is, I guess, a bit of a funny little thing to state, but quite frankly, I'm most weird out the fact that no one noticed it. Like, did no one call out to him? Did no one point out to him beforehand? I mean, he had to have left the same area anyways, and why did Hallowed one knows that he didn't take it off and hand it off? Like, did no one want to bring it up? And maybe he's a Hallowed, so he was like, it doesn't really matter because he can just order if he wants it, but regardless. It's just a simple chapter. It's nothing special. Now let's go into a bit more action-packed series with Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, chapter 166, titled "Hey Bond." Is it meant to be like a bond, like connections between people? Because I'm guessing that's what's supposed to be. I mean, I'm kind of confused if I'm just maybe using too much of Red Ranger Isekai series now with this name of the title, but whatever. Anyways, we start this chapter off with Camille attacking Lucy and, sending her away, saying stuff like, if anyone wants to mess with a dragon god, they have to go through me and all that, because, now she has the power to fight back. Which is kind of funny that she has, like, control as human or dragon, while the rest of the civilians just seem to be, like, random rampaging dragons. Which is funny considering like Brian in a couple of pages is gonna be like a lot similar to her, but Camille doesn't have her senses because she cannot recognize Lucy. All she can recognize is a threat to the water dragon. But Anyways, Lucy uses her star dress to get into her Aquarius form so she could, breathe underwater and to try to fight back. But it's no good. She's getting overwhelmed by Carmel because, a fucking rampaging dragon. And as she's being overwhelmed by Carmel, she realizes that the plan may have been stupid and ridiculous, which is even fine because this confirms that the only idea that the Team Fairytale had was they will go into these locations and destroy those mountains or whatever. Like they did not think they were going to need to fight anyone at all. Which finally that actually does track because a lot of people who argue that it does make sense for them to just split up said like, oh, they don't have to worry, they have to destroy those things, they don't have to fight anyone directly, but it's like you're going to have to end up fighting anyway, so why are you expecting there not to be any kind of conflict? These things turn people into dragons. I guess they didn't know people are gonna be rampaging around and their allies are gonna be enemies now. Which again kinda is like a weird kind of like that's the thing, it's not really explained well what the heck is going on with the transformation. I'm guessing we might need the Diabolus to explain to us what's going on here exactly. Exactly, since I feel like they would know more than the rest, but regardless, we have Lucy getting pushed back by this and realizing they're in fucking trouble. Which, let's hope that when it didn't go against Liam because that is going to be a big mess. Although to be fair, with to be fair with Celine's there, there might be allies, but with the Apollos, but we have to wait and see. So yeah, anyways, then we cut to Natsu where he went, and yes, as we could have all predicted, Natsu went to the fire to the flame palace or whatever it's called, as he's looking for Ignia to start the fight and take him down. I guess I'm pretty sure that Lacrima or whatever was actually outside, so I'm not entirely certain why he went to the palace exactly, but whatever, he went to the palace to take down Ignia, but Ignia is out, but Brian's in, as Brian comes down and attacks Natsu, as Brian tells Natsu that Ignia left him in charge, as we see that Brian turn into his dragon form, which is a similar type of dragon form as Carmel, with like horns, wings, and claws. Although actually, I don't think Brian has wings. I think he just has horns and feet and legs and a tail. Now, which I can kind of go with that. It's called design. It looks decent enough. So yeah, we have Brian versus Natsu here. So I'm guessing. So yeah, Brian's I guess the Zang Crow and all those types of recap and Cobra for Natsu in this arc. So yeah, as we're going to have Natsu versus Brian now, as it also confirms that that Ignia sent all of Fire and Flame to go protect protect the Lacrimas because he said because Brian said that he left that he was left in charge of the palace, and I imagine if all the Fire and Flame Guild members would be there, it would be Ved, the vice mayor, that would put in charge, unless if he sent them all away. So with that, I could see him like sending. So I'm going to assume that like the all of the others will send. Okay, it doesn't go perfectly well with numbers, but I could see like Vad being sent to Celine's place, since I think that would make the most amount of sense in terms of like Suzaku and Red being in the same area. Unless if he was sent somewhere else for Ezra to fire, which I think I went with Alderaan in that instance uh for Ezra in the last chapter, but regardless, I would imagine Signologist will go to VNS, like kind of a payback type of thing. So I guess they would go against Gray. I'm not really confident in these picks for them. Then we have Al Alderon's place. Yeah, Alderon. I don't really think there's anyone in the Final Defender would really go well with Alderon, regardless of how you look at him. Okay. Maybe you could say they are just arriving to the place, so that's why there's no one in Macrophobia's place, but we will get one in Macrophobia place later. Although, especially consider, actually, with the end of this chapter, I could see I could see Signal Sisters being in Macrophobia's place. I'll get it at the end of the chapter, but let's just say if it's not Venus, I could see those two being in Macrophobia's place. As then we have whoever is Laika being in Alderaan place, or maybe someone else. Again, it's just speculation. It just seems to imply that there's also Raj and all, but again, we have to wait and see on where characters end up with in Fire and Flame, and where they're gonna be meeting up with characters, because let's just say we are setting up a lot of battles here. As we did have Natsu and Brian starting their fight, as we revealed that the fire that Natsu is going to be sending out at Brian isn't going to be as effective as it was. It's like kind of weird. It seems like the Martian is kind of trying to like kind of balance things out between Natsu and the Fire and Flame Guild members, because remember, Natsu can eat fire, so it's kind of like whenever Natsu fights a fire user in a versus setting, it's kind of like a thing with, oh, what would the fire user be able to do against Natsu? So here it does seem to be like, he does, that all dragon forms have given Fire and Flame Guilds at least some kind of ability to fight the Natsu on a more equal footing, with them being able to use fire to hurt Natsu and for them to not being hurt by Natsu. So there's a bit more of an equal footing, but let's be honest, so this is just meant to be more of a Natsu's before the main fight that would just haven't be defeated. It's like what's his name? Jacob from Spring and 12 who fought Natsu. There was more of a team fight between Natsu and Lucy, but again, let's be honest, it was more like Natsu's fight beforehand, or Natsu fighting Zeref before the actual final battle. So it's like one of those, like, it's like, but that guy's always fight multiple opponents before they fight the main guy, the final bosses. So Brian is kind of like there just to be not just first opponent, since, there is some like animosity between them, and kind of a connection with Brian being the first one they properly encountered Brian fighting to eat Happy and Carla, and then, Brian inviting Natsu to come with him to find Flame. So yeah. But anyways, we have Natsu versus Brian, as then we cut to Ignia, who is flying for Ferris, which is something that Brian's there to Natsu, that Natsu is not even under Ignia's radar, because Ignia went after Ferris as to hunt her down, and we see that. And we now see Ignia, I guess he smelled where Ferris is and goes after her, as he states, oh, some of the assimilated Acnologia's power. Oh, Black Wizard Ferris, you're gonna be good warm-up to be turned to ash and all that. So I guess Ferris and Ignia are gonna happen right now? Kind of a weird thing, because, like, something that a lot of people knows is that that Mashima, when it comes to his final arcs, he always has like this weird sort of duo antagonist where he has like the main opponent, like he has like one big boss to one long arch enemy that fights more of an individual fight, but then you have like another enemy who's like a more multi-skill opponent for multiple characters to fight against. So yeah, we now have so it's kind of an interesting thing that we have Ferris and Ignia only going together. Like, I don't know, maybe Ferris gonna take control of Ignia, maybe the fight is gonna get interrupted. It's kind of it's kind of really difficult to say which direction are we going here with. Are we going to like the final fights, or are we just going to like the setup fights and for the future? But regardless, we then cut to Ferris realizing that Ignia is approaching her, as she tells all the Oracle Seals members to go hunt the humans and dragons, so the Fire and Flame members and the Noxus members. And also one correction I want to make is that in the last chapter, I said that Zero was only a filler villain, but from what I checked, it does seem like Zero was a character in the manga itself, and all. I just mistakenly assumed. My apologies, but yeah, Zero was in the manga himself. He's like one of those weird antagonists, like one of those like big final villains in arcs, where it's like no one really talks about them or mentions them that much, so you have no idea who he is exactly. It's not a weird thing, but it's kind of fine with him because he is supposed to be someone who's a bit more important. Yet I don't remember him even being so. I remember. I mean, I remember. Uh, Future Rouge. I can. I remember Zeref. I remember Ecologia. I remember Hades. I remember Markir. And Lion, I believe, was the main villain in the beginning of the story, and Joel as well. But like Zero is the one I'm blanking on. So yeah. Anyways, the demons are being sent, and we'll see where when they're gonna be meeting up situation. I could see if there's maybe the first gonna teleport them to where the gods are, because like the main areas where the dragon gods are going to be at are not that difficult to figure out. It's pretty much just like where's the biggest rampage, but the other areas are a bit questionable. And I'm not entirely sure when the demons are gonna show up, but at some point they're gonna show up in against the opponents. So yeah, anyways, then we cut back to Lucy fighting Carmel as Lucy wants to use keys and summons the crab to help her, but the crab celestial spirit tells her that he cannot breathe even though he's a crab, so she has to send him back to the spirit gate because he's kind of useless in this instance. As Lucy realizes that she's kind of a disadvantage now with her not being able to use the spirits and not only using her celestial what Aquarius outfit. And to be fair, I imagine fuse those celestial outfit with some of the other spirits, but that's only so much power that she can. She's half her power set is limited now to just her forms, and Lucy can't fight on her own, and she is a straight up combatant. It's still more like I would definitely say in a straightforward fight, Lucy would beat Nami, let's say, but it's still kind of like do not really best suited for straight combat type of fighting. So yeah, Lucy's kind of a disadvantage here fighting Carmel in the water in her dragon form with water magic and all that type of stuff. As as Carmel gives like a devastating blow on Lucy, as Lucy starts reminiscing about Aquarius. Like if she had Aquarius, they could at least do something. Like she could maybe access higher forms of power. I'm thinking. I know Lucy encountered Aquarius and when they were fighting Celine's group, not the Aballs, the one that she ruled previously. But I'm blanking. There was like a high access of power or something from her. But regardless, she thinks of Aquarius and how if only she had her and they would be able to do and stuff. Like we spanned it's a kind of not foreshadowing that Aquarius is coming back and it's just gonna be used. And quite frankly, at first when I was reading this for the first time, I thought, oh my god, don't tell me they're gonna reveal that Aquarius was just gonna a key was somewhere in this area, and now when she's in this negative space, Aquarius is gonna call out to her. She's gonna be able to randomly find her, and that's like the whole plot. But luckily for all of us, that's not what happens because when Lucy's fading, she has a voice call out to her and say, "What the hell are you doing?" As this person kicks Carmel, as it's revealed that it's actually Brandish. That Brandish is here when she has some weird device to help her breathe underwater, and she's gonna be helping Lucy against Caramel, which is why I think maybe like the Signario sisters are gonna be in Macrophobia's place because they'll be fighting Lucy and Brandish here. But we have to wait and see if that's going to happen. So yeah, Brandish is here. No, I don't know if Brandish found the key because like this, like she already was in this area previously when we first got introduced to her in 100 Square. She was already like kind of leaving this part. So I mean, again, it was never stated if she actually. I don't know if it was ever stated if she was in Mercophobia's place to find and looking for the key or not. But I feel like she probably was, just like she was leaving around the same time as the Natsu's team was. So yeah, it is kind of a weird. It's kind of like a weird. So I'm not sure if she was already. So it's kind of already there, or maybe she was like getting some new information that like went her back there. Again, it's kind of a weird. It's kind of a weird thing about how exactly Banish is looking for Aquarius' keys, and it kind of seems like she's just sort of wandering around entire villages for a few hours until she either gets distracted by a few of their rides or by something else. But regardless, Brandish is now here, and she has like a water mask, which again I'm not again, which the thing is, Brandish doesn't use celestial spirit, so an argument could be made that she will not be able to use the Aquarius' key to be able to grant herself the ability to breathe underwater. Although to be fair, that seems to be more of a spirit transformation thing, like you transform your outfit thanks to this celestial spirit. So an argument could again be made that like okay, I know Yukino was like there's like a whole thing about Yukino being able to get the ability to transform, to grant herself the ability of the celestial spirits by getting those outfits and all that, and fusing them and all that. Like there's a big problem with Yukino for being able to do that. So instantly, while Lucy had so much time to learn how to do that, so you could probably say that maybe like there's a bit of an issue there. But I think Banish would just be kind of pushing it. It would just gonna be you just want to give her Aquarius the powers. But here I could totally see like a thing where so instead it's better to just give her like a brain device to at least keep some skilling consistency or skill consistency. So Aquarius, so even if she does have Aquarius's key, she will be she will not be able to use it properly. And I could even see it next happen next chapter where Brandish hands over. Like I even like I could see it. I can like see how this is gonna go. Like next chapter starts with Lucy being shocked. Like Brandish, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Oh, nothing. I just wanted to show you that I won our little competition. and Lucy being, oh, what? No, not fair. Although I guess you were actively looking for it while I was just sort of I was vaguely thinking about it. So I could see like a little joke about that. I think even a fourth row joke honestly would make sense for me, but then Banish was like, although in this situation it would probably be for the best if I gave you the keys so you can use the ability better than I can. I am not a celestial spirit user, so maybe it's gonna be like that type. Maybe it's gonna be that type of situation. So we have to see on that front. But regardless, Banish is here, and her and Lucy are now gonna fight Caramel, and I'm assuming they're gonna be able to beat her quickly. Like the thing is, Caramel wasn't a fighter or even a magic user before this, so I imagine like whatever power up she did. So I don't really think it should be that difficult for Brandish and Lucy together to take her down. And if Signal Sisters are gonna be their opponents, which I would say makes far more sense than Caramel, I could easily see them beating Caramel in the next chapter with Signal Sisters showing up at the end. But yeah. Anyways, that's it for Fairy Tail. Now it's time for One Piece, chapter 1123, titled The Void Fortnight, which is just 2 weeks of no knowledge, but whatever. So anyways, we start this chapter off showing us that all the Marines on the battleships, including the Vice Admirals, have been knocked out, as we see like a bunch of random Marines, as well as Child Dole, all pass off, thumb in the mouth, as we see like Ass Snake telling them to wake up, shark heads are getting away and all that. So, funny enough, I think that Ass Snake is the only one we actually see awake here. So it does kind of raise a question if this is like let's just say this Concourse Hockey raises multiple questions on what exactly it is, but regardless, all that we need to know is that so many of the Marines are knocked out right now that essentially no one is gonna be able. They're not gonna be able to pursue Straw Hats. They are gonna be delayed. Like until someone wakes up, reports what's going on, and Straw Hats and the Albeths escaping. There's not gonna be any following. So yeah, it's gonna take some time. And then we have the Giants looking back at it, and they're like, "What kind of Conquerors hockey was that? It seems like every single Marine is knocked down. I mean, it could even be stronger than Shanks, which, in my opinion, I would say it is stronger than Shanks. So this is a Conquerors hockey infused ribbon that was made of 900 or 1,000 years ago, and this one seems to have like a few special conditions because the Giants match didn't seem like that aggressive, but it knocked out all the Marines, so he has to have spent a lot more powerful than it felt like. So it's kind of a weird sort of thing. So it's kind of like a weird thing here with how exactly it works, and I would say it's more unique and like the special uniqueness and the age and all that. I would say makes it so it might be a lot stronger. Like even comparing this to Shanks, I would say automatically makes it stronger than Shanks because like it has so many special requirements to what I'm assuming is just Shanks' usual like strikes. So yeah, overrated is finally being put down in a peg. So yeah, anyways, then we got to the Giants, who was SBA like, it doesn't matter, let's just be happy and celebrate as they're setting sail to Elbaf, and yeah, we are going to Elbaf, and it doesn't seem like there was going to be a delay at all based on the previews, but we have to wait and see. Or leaks, I mean, not previews. This is an anime. So yeah, anyways, after this whole thing, we then cut to Sanji and I'm guessing an Alba's ship as he's like uh as he's like watches Vegapunk's corpse and he's like sorry Vegapunk about that, and also he's wondering what did you exactly uh when Shanti's confused about what exactly Vegapunk said to them when he was like leaving out the stratosphere. As he states to when we that moment where Frankie, Atlas, Vegapunk, Sanji, and all that won't go down. Vegapunk tells Sanji to just leave him be and it's fine. And Sanji's like, oh, do you have a death wish? And Vegapunk tells him that, no, something tells me that I am going to die regardless, so it doesn't really matter to me. As then we cut to 2 weeks ago, which is the title chapter, where we have Vegapunk, Pythagoras, and Shaka discovering that someone has tampered with their machinery and their information and has hijacked it. And then, there's clearly been tampering and issues of that nature. As their Shaka and Pythagoras and all them are like, there's clearly a trade amongst us. Only a Vegapunk would be able to mess with stuff like these and make it so only we would be able to tell the difference. And then we get like a little joke about Vegapunk being like, "Oh, is it Lilith? Is it Lilith?" Which it's kind of weird to think that like that's the first part they have. Which to be fair, it does make sense, and maybe this is meant to be more like a deep thing, like something that's supposed to mean something different, especially since what's commented in the next chapter. But regardless, they do kind of talk about Lilith. Like even Shaka, who's like I would say the most like straight man out of the entire cast, or well, from the ACAT. Even he's like, we need to keep when we check out information and try to discover who the traitor is. We need to make sure that Lilith, I mean culprit, don't figure out. So, well, this is an interesting view on Lilith. I'm assuming that if it was there, then it may be more like a joke or something, or maybe like some kind of other more petty kind of accomplishment or something. But regardless, they need to like check information just to make sure that it is Lilith. So they do that as Pythagoras discovers that it was actually York who made all this. Who is responsible for this, as they're like, oh, sorry, Lilith, but York, how could we? And Vegapunk even kind of has like a little, common sense kicking. It's like, oh my god, it's my fault. Why I decided to make greed I turned greed into a person. Of course, it was going to end up this way, as they also found the Dente Mushi that York used to communicate with the celestial dragons, or the ghosts, namely, as as they're like again being just distraught, and they also discover like the piece of the Morphlane that York stole, and she used one of the sea beasts to give it to the Gorosei. So the destruction of Lucia Kingdom that they discovered, as well as a piece of Morphlane going away to the Gorosei. They put the pieces together and were like they used the ancient weapon with being powered up by the internal flame to destroy Lucia Kingdom. So Megapod Punk is very down on his knees, and now they're kind of questioning what they should do, and saying it's kind of like too late. They can't really do anything. They even if they like take care of York and capture and do all that type of stuff. She already kind of revealed. She already revealed all the important things. She already revealed internal flame, meaning that they mean the world government knows about it. And now, if they don't get answers from York, they're gonna try to want more and more. They now York revealed to them that they are studying the uh, Void Century, which they're not supposed to. So they're kind of stuck. And if they did run away, they would be the most wanted people on the planet. So it's kind of one of those we can't do shit. The only options we can do is like prepare a way that we don't go out. Our deaths don't go out in vain, or just our deaths do not we don't just end up doing the same thing like the Scots at O'Hara did, where they kept the knowledge, but it was basically used to everyone else. So Vegapunk decides to, instead of like capturing York and getting rid of her or anything, he decides to record a message, which is also the reason why only Shaka, Pythagoras, and Vegapunk were at the message, because like those were the ones who discovered it initially, and the only ones who had the ironclad alibis to why they wouldn't be the ones who committed the crime. So they they make the recording to inform everyone about what's going to happen and everything they know that we've spent the last couple of chapters going through. So yeah, now there's like one of those times where you have to question, and okay, is this like because the plot needed to, or is this like one of those? It actually is the smartest thing, because like these are two very different things. Like plots do not sometimes change the smartest characters to do what's the smartest choice, regardless of how it makes sense for them to be. So it's kind of a little debate if this is like more as a Vegapunk is doing something more for the plot rather than it's actually logical. So yeah, it's like one of those things. But to be fair, whenever you're dealing with a character who is supposed to be the smartest characters in existence, you always have to question about how much logic or how little common sense actually used. Because remember, like logic and you know reasoning are two different things. And I believe there's a very good Star Trek quote from Star Trek Undiscovered Country, where well, it's not exactly one to one, but it is a very good application. Where it's like even logic has to give in even logic has to give in to physics, or even logic cannot surpass physics, or something on those lines. Where it's like even if something is a logical decision, physically it's impossible. If it was like akin to, in that sense, it was like akin to, you can't get rid of the gravity boots by blasting them or throwing them away, because everyone could kind of figure could kind of anyone, if someone mentioned, hey, why are there gravity boots being randomly thrown in outer space, it would be kind of weird, and that would become a red flag. But so it's kind of a similar thing here, where it's like, is his decision logical, or is his decision more of emotions here? But regardless, Vegapunk is now, who decides to do the whole plot that they did with the whole reveal the message to the world, and we even get like a little scene of him hiding the snail in Ethan, which I guess is like the thing that clued Lilith York in, that's where Vegapunk was like, okay, think about it. Where would Stella hide it? Where was the place you wouldn't look at? Wait a minute. I think it was a week or a couple of days ago. Wait a minute. A couple of days ago, Vegapunk was at is that giant Iron Giant, and he was doing something. He told me that he was putting putting the mother flame in there, mother flame experiments in there to see if he completed it. So, wait, would that be where he would put it? I can't really think of him going in any other place that would make logical sense, so it would probably be there. Plus, the shielding would make it so it would be one of the fine things that would be able to be destroyed, so it would make sense. So, yeah, that's kind of, I guess, the explanation. As then, while he's doing all this preparation, all that, he also kind of questioned what the world government is exactly, because the more and more they learn, the less and less it kind of makes sense. Or like, I'm not saying this is like meant to be like a more metaphorical. If this is meant to be like some kind of deeper reveal, like what is the world government exactly. But I don't know. It's like one of those weird things where it's kind of different to say if there's like meant to, if how much of a meaning this question is supposed to have. But regardless, he also states that they need to make sure that like the cloud plant, the one that makes artificial clouds, remains, because if the world gets sunk, it would probably make the most amount of sense. We'll have to build a world on top of the sky, so that's some. So I guess more sky islands will be necessary for it. So we're gonna have to wait a couple of volumes before we get that being coming that into play. As then, after all that preparation, we have Vegapunk, Pythagoras, and Shaka erasing their memories so they don't get discovered. They learn what they learn, which is to explain why uh, Vegapunk was shocked by everything as legitimately was, because otherwise he would already know everything. Then, according to York, Vegapunk is a horrible liar, even though he did lie to her in the flashback. Well, I'm guessing like one of those things where like it was very far away. It's he would have to scream to even communicate with one another, so it was like it could be hidden a little bit. So like she couldn't have figured out that he was lying, because it was like if they were together, it would be one thing, but because they weren't, it was easy for them to hide it. And as anyways, those three erased their memories, and then when they woke up, they kind of wondering what they're doing in the memory erasure. As then they see a note that's clearly Vegapunk's writing. Vegapunk like gives a bit of information like, "You're gonna die. Everything is in play. Just it doesn't matter." And they got shocked by this, but they play along because like, well, we're in the memory chamber. I have read this is clearly my handwriting. I guess it's just gonna happen now. As then we have Vegapunk telling Sanji that he's expecting his death, that it's fine if he's left behind, which kind of confuses Sanji at the moment, but now it's kind of like, did you plan for this to Sanji? You know, a very cool like moment for Sanji, which is like Sanji's cool moments are more like subtle than like say Zoro's cool moments are. And it kind of shows here with Sanji's the one who's kind of questioning this. What exactly were you thinking? As then we also have Vegapunk telling Sanji that if Vegapunk were to choose who would find the One Piece, he would want the Strides to be the ones who get the One Piece. So yeah, I guess Vegapunk is putting his money on Strides. Not sure if this means that he thinks that Joy Boy would want Strides to get the One Piece and all that, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. I'm certain that when we get to the Raft Tail and the One Piece, we'll get more review about who does Joy Boy want to get the One Piece. But yeah, regardless, we then cut to the Giants as they are celebrating. Yeah, we're going to Elbaf as we have Dory and Boggy like lifting Usopp up because that's where Usopp wanted to go, and I guess grabbing Luffy from Nami's lap because in the beginning of the chapter, when everyone was kind of like chilling out, Luffy was on Nami's lap because he was like completely evaporated. That we also had like Zoro there, and Bonnie sleeping on Kuma, but I was like, it was on really anything major. You could kind of guess what they were doing. So. Okay, Luffy's just been grabbed there, and Luffy's like, wait, not yet, I am still exhausted, my body, like, guys, last time I used that form for so long, I literally was out for a couple of days. Can we please recover before we start toasts and all that? But anyways, we are leaving off and excited to Elbaf, so yeah. Anyways, after One Piece, we have One Punch Man, well, once this week, as we have chapter 202 titled Fully Recovered. So yeah, we are finally getting back to some One Punch Man chapter discussions. In case you're wondering why I am not talking much about One Punch Man, though there have been chapters that came out beforehand, it's because of the whole redraw thing that Murata does a lot of times when he's not satisfied with the chapter, so I kind of don't want to go over a lot of very similar dialogue with only different artwork at the time. But this is actually some new information here. But anyways, basically this chapter is meant to kind of like bridge the gap between like the web novel differences and the, well, not bridge the gap, like kind of a in unit. How do I say this? All right. As some of you probably know, One Punch Man has a web comic that's not finished yet. So One Punch Man writer, one and Murata kind of go off of this, but in the manga they add more stuff, they explain more stuff. There's generally a lot more stuff in it. And one of those more stuff in it is Shiryu, who in the webcomic I don't think appears until he's introduced as a Neo leader for the Neo heroes in this current arc that they are in webcomic. So in this instance, but in the manga, Shiryu is introduced way earlier, and he has his whole character and all things. So in this chapter, they kind of have to they focus on explaining why is Shiryu a Neo leader in the Neo heroes in the context of the manga, because in the webcomic it makes sense, but here it's kind of like why. So here's this basically is just there. So we'll start this off slowly with Shiryu first being discharged from the hospital. And, the nurses being like, oh, Shiryu, great job in your recovery, and giving him big flowers because, he's a ladies' man and a playboy and all that stuff. So, yeah, then he leaves the hospital as well. A little joke about how the nurses want him back in the hospital, but he doesn't want to get injured again. But, anyways, he goes away as he sees a giant anteater monster. It's a tiger monster, it's not really a big threat. But the anteater monster is now looking for a new substance that would replace ants, and he's looking kind of humans, but humans are not ants, so he's not really happy about them. So he's pissed off. But Shiryu shows up and immediately like kills uh, the anteater. As then we have some of the people like, oh yeah, great job, hero. Wait, no, he's not a hero. He's a martial arts champion because Shiryu is a popular face. As Shiryu is like, oh shit, I should probably get away and go join that hero association. So yeah, in the story, he does want to join the Hero Association from the very beginning, and then just kind of goes there. And now, while he's walking towards the Hero Association, as he's like, uh, while he's like looking at the recruitment in the Hero Association, he sees like Neo heroes are all over the place, and talking about them. He's like even like, wow, I've been in the hospital for so long. I guess Neo heroes are a big thing now, huh? But anyways, it doesn't matter to him because what truly matters to him is the Hero Association, as they have Saitama. He wants, to compete with him, not the random Neokis. Like he's not. Well, he does want to be a hero, and definitely has kind of gotten that spark in him. He is not in. He's not the same. He's not the same. He doesn't really like still have like the same desires as, let's say, all the others, be like the most successful heroes and all that type of stuff. So yeah, he's kind of going away, well, to the hero association now. But then as he's leaving, he sees a hat falling down, and it's the king. And it's the king anteater that he killed the tiger from last time. So it's like a demon. So then Shiryu kind of like, oh, wait, this is the same as the last time, referring to how Saitama fought Gokatsu when he was, like when he was like Shiryu was at his bottom, kind of realized the necessity of the heroes, and kind of, like in the martial arts tournament, Shiryu was kind of uncaring about the heroes. Like he's like, it doesn't matter, you're strong, it's fine. Like it does, like heroes are unnecessary. But then he kind of realized how necessary the heroes truly are, and like the moral difference between them. Like he is was way stronger than Lightning Max and Snack. Like he beat both of them without an effort. But against the strongest enemy is a dragon level friend monster. He wants to run away, and those two who are weaker than him would gladly die to help him escape. So it's like one of those realizations. And the same goes for here, where he's realized. And so his, so he realized. And then afterwards, when Gugat, so afterwards when after all that character stuff, he now wants to be a hero. but now gets like a flashback to that moment with Saitama because Saitama beat Kokatsu. And by like first he thought, oh no, Saitama, you can't go against Kokatsu. That thing is way too powerful. But then his hand immediately like ended right next to him. So as he realized like Saitama was so overwhelmingly powerful that he defeated a monster he had like no chance of winning against. So he gets flashbacks to that. He first thinks this, oh, this it was this Anu defeated by Saitama, but then it turns out it's one of the new Neo heroes, which is Wabi Gonza, who I think in the webcomic she was first introduced in the I My Mask arc, and she was kind of pissed off at the revelation in the end of that arc. Like she couldn't really compete with I My Mask anymore; it would no longer be any worth. So she's here, so she's already showing up here, which I think it makes sense that she would be showing up a bit now because like she's gonna be like one of the stars of the Neo Heroes. I mean, we've seen some of the Neo Heroes beforehand, like we've seen that Raiden or whatever his name was from the douchebag who's acting all smug against the Hero Association's recruiter. And I think we might have also seen a sumo wrestler guy, but we got now we see what big odds are there as we have for like big. Oh yeah, I am after my hiatus. I joined the Neo Heroes and took some improvements. There's like a little shot that's supposed to foreshadow with her like having a giant barrel of water that she has to drink like intensely, like glug 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 glug. Which is a foreshadowing for what's gonna be revealed in the future. Like in the webcomic, it's already revealed why she needs to shove so much water down her throat, but here it's just kept like more foreshadowing. So one because it tells them to encourage them and support them, and she just goes. Which at first, like when Shiro's watching her and all that, he thinks, "Wait a minute, Neo Heroes are rivals towards the Hero Association, so it would probably be for the best if I like spy on them a little bit and to see what they're actually up, and then I could tell them to the Hero Association. Maybe I could give in like a more special credit or something." So Neo Heroes, so Shiro decides to go spy on the Neo Heroes before he joins the Hero Association. So yeah, which is kind of feels more like a plot contrivance reason why, but it does make. I guess it does make sense. Like Shiro's not really the smartest guy in the box, so it's fine. It's fine. So, anyways, then we cut to Soika, who is Shiro's sister, because we have seen her in the manga before. Before this, in a webcomic, I think she was introduced when they were like when the Hiroshin wanted to recruit this Shiryu or his grandpa, I believe. But then Soika was there, and they took her instead. So here we have Soika appearing there. She wants to come visit him, but the doctors there inform her that Shiro was already dispatched, and also he left a note there. As we find out that Shiryu left a note telling Soika to take care of his medical bill and said sorry. And that enrages Soika because not only did he not tell her that he was discharged, but he also left her with the fees and everything. So, I mean, I get Shiryu's a cool character and all, but dude, you are one douchebaggy big brother. No wonder you are in Neo Heroes. But yes, anyways, then Shiro's in the recruiting place as he is being given the battle suits, which I don't know if they were always stated in the manga, but battle suits are basically what gives Neo Heroes kind of the advantage compared to Hero Session, because these battle suits that Neo Heroes wear, everyone, even the fathers, give them like increased levels of strength, making them a lot more comparable to like monstralizations. So he sure is given one of these suits to like test out his new strength, and it does like work on his strength and it makes him stronger. The one little issue is that Shiryu is already an S-class level fighter. Like, not top of S-class, more the bottom rank of S-class, similar to like Peri Prisoner and Tank Top Master, just with more martial arts skills. So when he gets stronger with these suits that are meant more for like your average level fighters, more your C, B, A tier fighters, it increases more power than it should, and as soon as Shiryu wants to flex a bit, it breaks. So Shiryu destroyed like a 5,000 million billion, I think it was just $1 million suit just by flexing his muscles, because it wasn't made for people of that caliber. It was like those need to be specialized for them to make, which fine enough, Shiryu actually does break in the suit in the webcomic as well, but that's because Garo is so overwhelming. So it is kind of funny how we again have like Shiryu having a suit broken in the manga. Man, that's gonna be more like a running joke in the manga version of One Punch Man, actually. So yeah, as they're screaming at, she's like, "Oh, that's how much money that? Oh, that's expensive." As they like one of the people who are giving the suit be like, "Oh, genius work! You tamper with the suit, so now he would break. So now he has to join us and work and pay off these suits." What? Well, that's like a very over the top evil expression. Like, I don't think this guy's anything special. It's just that he has like a very evil face. Like he has a very big evil kind of smug face, as well as very evil eyes that don't even go into the right direction. But he has them, as the guy who is with him being like, no, it was just a regular suit. He was just so much more powerful than a normal recruit that he managed to broke it by accident. As the evil looking guy's like, eh? As then Shiryu is now stuck working for the Neo Heroes, despite that he doesn't want to, because he is sort of, because he has to pay it off, and we kind of feel like refused, and we'll go into the Hero Association, and then have to pay them off from that. But regardless, he's just stuck there. Which again, like I said, the point is to make sure that the continuity of him being a Neo leader from the webcomic stays in this version, so he stays so he's now a part of the Neo Hero. As then we have like the final page of the chapter where we have Second God congratulating Shiryu into becoming a Neo leader, with him meeting Melbat, and Melbat's like, why is this guy crying? Because he's got himself in that trouble. Like, this was supposed to be a spy mission, if anything, but now he's just gotten himself in trouble. And now has to work with the Neo Hero. So yeah, it is kind of funny how this all turned out, but regardless, it's One Punch Man. It's kind of on brand with this type of stuff, but still, seriously, like, the reason why Shiryu got in trouble was because, I mean, I guess Shiryu got promoted to ask us immediately. Like, I mean, breaking a suit that's supposed to power you up on your first day, it's kind of a better showing than that Ryan guy. Makes me gotta wonder if that guy also needed to upgrade. Makes me wonder that guy also needed to upgrade his, like, not that guy was able to destroy the suit, but it was like that guy was able to reach the limits of how much that suit can take, and it was like about to start breaking. But regardless, Shiryu's not a Neo leader. Good for him. Good for him. So anyways, after One Punch Man, we have Chainsaw Man chapter 175, titled Both Hands. To be fair, technically it should be called Both Hands for two and one arm for one, because one already is missing an arm. But yeah, anyways, then we don't focus on Fuyume and Fukume, whatever her name is, because we focus back to Chainsaw Devil, as he's like coming off the street corner, as some people see him and start to run away with some devil hunter civilians, or I think they're just supposed to be like regular civilian devil hunters, because they just have spears and don't have professional suits on. As they try to go like stab Chainsaw Devil, probably thinking that it's like one of those transformed humans into chainsaws. But Chainsaw Devil was not infected by it and just cuts them all down, because the guy's like, I mean, the guy literally just killed four devils. Well, not four devils. He killed three devils, a bunch of fiends, 6 or 7 fiends, in a spell of seconds, and erased them. Like, he's not gonna be scared by a couple of civilian devil hunters with spears. So he cuts them down, as the other devil hunters kind of start running away. As then Katana Man appears from the crowd, but because no one has a mouth in this, like it looks like you can kind of tell what he's talking about. Oh, it's payback time, Chainsaw Man! I'm gonna avenge my father. Oh, you're going down. As he, that's his whole like remove the hand and turn into Katana Man. As then we have like a few signs on the screen, which makes you kind of want to. Wait, were those things established beforehand? Or is this something like they are that we like you still have the ability to do stuff, but it's not used for the same purpose, like how like it was mentioned, like ears, like everything that requires ears, for example, did still exist. It's just like one have different purposes in this world. So it's like a weird thing, like how does everything function exactly, as like is there still like some communication? But regardless, I'm guessing that the aging devil kind of wants to is smart enough to be like, we don't want to have mouths. Meaning that my deal with the devil hunters cannot go through because they cannot inform everyone about that. I guess I'm going to have to help them handle the situation. So he makes like portals and he wants to crush him. As then we have Asa coming down, jumping down to slice at Chainsaw Devil, but Chainsaw Devil just cuts them all down. Like he cuts the aging devil's arms off. He cuts arms off from Kutama as well. Says that, which I imagine he just did that like I want to say he did like this, or as I went time saying how he's like he managed to cut all of these characters like this. Like it was like those instant speed things or whatever. But and he also caught Euro's other arm, so Euro is kind of like armless completely, but he didn't cut her down completely. Didn't cut her down the same way how he cut down Katana Man. As Katana Man then falls on her because he lost his hat, so he needs to like put it back together. As Asa notices him on her to pull her down, so she kicks him out of the place. As she starts to stand up against Chainsaw Devil, and then immediately as she does like try to approach him a little bit, but she falls on her knees because he probably took a blow on her when he cut her down. As then Chainsaw Devil is in front of her again, and then and then we have like at the final page of the chapter where we have just us close up of Euro's face, like oh no. Which I kind of want to say this is Euro's PTSD showing because remember Euro was in incident where Chainsaw Devil ate a part of her, so there's probably some triggering memories of that incident. Make me kind of think that in the next chapter we're going to have her having flashback to that moment. So yeah, Euro is in trouble. I mean, it's kind of funny that she even after all this power up and all this statement of how much stronger she has been getting after people's like fear of war has restarted, they are still like. I remember like one panel where she was like, "Finally, people are remembering me again." But all that power and she's still no match for Chainsaw Devil, which I mean, I do feel like there's probably gonna be something that's gonna come back into play. I don't think it's just going to be like him completely demolished. Well, he did kind of demolish her completely already, but I'm assuming she's gonna try to do something. Maybe Famine is gonna try to do something because, Famine lost her mouth now, which is kind of an important thing. Like, how is she supposed to devour everything if she doesn't have a mouth? But regardless, Yoro is now in trouble, and we're gonna have to see what we're gonna do next chapter. What the captains are gonna do next chapter. Although I do have to wonder if Chainsaw Devil will now just confuse Euro for a girlfriend, like, and he's gonna have like a similar kind of incident with like he had with Kubani when he was kind of like forcing her to go on a date with him. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of Chainsaw Man Chainsaw Man chapter. As we get to the final chapter of the week, being RuriDragon chapter 19, a non-human substance. So we start this chapter off with Ruri waking up in a hospital bed as she's like a little bit wounded, being like, "What happened? Ugh, I had like the craziest dream. Like my mom was turned to a monster." And as she sees that some of her friends from school are there as well, I think the two closest to her are there, and one more. As her mother's also there, but no, not physically there, but she's on her phone. And she screams at Rory back, "What do you mean I was turned into a monster?" as is wondering what happened, and they told her that she fell unconscious, and that the shy girl, the girl that was too scared to speak normally, carried her to a hospital. I'm assuming that she was carried into a ho- I want to say she was carried to a hospital in the school, but then maybe she was also taken to a proper hospital because she just spit out venom off her stomach and all that. So she's so that's what's explained, and she is with woozy format as well. She's realizing that, wait a minute, if what hour is it? Which class are we at? As the captain saw that she's been out for hours. The classes have already been over. Like, we are from class. We should probably be heading home at this point. Which I do think that some of them are giving, I think, a ride home by Ruri's mother later, because Ruri's mom now said that she's gonna come to pick up soon, just that she couldn't be in person right now there. So yeah, Ruri is kind of, taken aback by all this, and being wondering what the heck is going on with her also not having venom and stuff like this. Then we have the characters going. We have Ruri going home with her mom, and I think after they drop off one of Ruri's friends, they go. They have a little bit of a discussion about the venom, and Ruri states that, like, the teacher, Mr. Takamoto, mentioned that it's venom, but is it really venom? How can you even tell it's venom from this large or stuff like that? But Ruri, his mom does state that yes, it is venom. Dragons do have venom. It's a different substance than normal venom. It's not like super poisonous or acid. Just so does ask, like, was it safe? Did anyone get hurt? Because if it's venom, it could be very dangerous. And Ruri's mom does say, yeah, it was fine. Like, they managed to remove it, and no one got anything serious from it. But and states also that the venom from dragons is more like dark magic that increases, like, hallucinations and other stuff. Like how, like some poison users in anime and manga, sometimes when they use poisons, it's more like the safe kind, where it's like, oh, the poison is more of like a hallucinogen or something else. But that's basically what the dragon type is from Ruri, and saying that she does have to, like, release it a bit because otherwise it will harm herself. Like, that's the kind of reason why she puked. Like, she can't, like, take too much of herself. I'm assuming it's because she covered her mouth and she tried to breathe fire, and that kind of maybe triggered it a bit, so that's why she kind of threw up about it and kind of passed out again. As we're kind of pissed at this point because some of these dragon traits just seem to harm her. Like, of all the dragon traits that Ruri could have, she gets the ones that harm herself the most. Like, the first one, the first one were horns, which were alright, but the second was fire that burned her throat and needed her and sent her to a hospital. The third one was a electricity thing, which luckily didn't do anything horrible to her. Well, the fourth one now, it was Venom that sent her to a hospital for the entirety of a day. So she's kind of very pissed off about some of these dragon traits, and I think they're like falling down, four down, five more to go now, because I think it was there, like, there's, was it 9 or 7? I think it was 9, but because she has like a few more dragon traits to go through, and she's kind of in a panic zone right now, as Rui's mom does state to her that, that it's fine. You'll work together. We can figure out. You will be able to get around this and be able to, like, move on. You want a normal life. That's all you desire. And for a normal life, for that, you just have to, like, deal with it. The initials will be shocks, but outside of that, should be fine. Which I do have to kind of wonder if this is gonna lead to a story point where Yuri's gonna consider going to live with her father, or, like, I'm not saying that this is definitely going to happen, but I could see, like, another trait manifesting, which will be just as another one that's gonna send Rui to a hospital, and Rui's gonna start to consider maybe she should go live with her father, because at this point she's gonna be in this point she's just gonna not gonna be able to go to school because of, like, hospital attendances and all that. So I could totally see, like, this being a story. Like, I don't think it's gonna be the next straight, or it's even gonna be in a couple of chapters or anything like that. But I could see something like that happening because, like, right now she doesn't really want to go too far because she was never around. But at this point, she might really need to start considering, especially in the direction that we don't know. Well, the obvious direction we're gonna be going with the classes pretty soon. So Yeah. Anyways, Rui's mom also tells her that she's kind of in a gray zone where it's like, you'll a lot of traits are manifesting and causing a lot of damage, a lot of strife for you, and probably putting a lot of people in danger. But do not worry. As long as we move forward and react correctly, you should be able to go. You should be able to be fine. And that's the end of the day. With the next, as then we go to the next day, as then we have Furi going to Mr. Komoto, and she's like, "All right, how did you know it was Venom? How did you manage to instant identify it? No BS. Don't tell me you just took a random guess. I really want to know how much you know," which is something that she does point out to, I think her friends or mother. I think it was her friends actually. Because the guy must know more than he's telling me, because like that he was remarkably calm by that Venom when he saw it and everything. So yeah, as then Mr. Takamoto doesn't like really want to keep it a secret. He's like, "Oh my god, oh you found me. Yeah, I knew about the whole thing. You see, I mean, it's not. I'm not. I don't think it's meant to be taken as malicious. It's just like one of those difficult things where it's like." It's got when it comes to slice of life manga like this, it's kind of difficult to say how much will it go serious and how much it's just going to keep. So Mr. Komoto tells Ruri that the hospital that she went to, the one that I think was a couple of chapters ago, I think it was like one of the first 5 chapters or so, called him and told him that once they got their blood test from her, they realized there was gonna be a substance that's going to be she'll be emitting a substance towards her, which is gonna be a venom. I think they compare this. I think Rory's manga compares the venom similar to like a frog's venom, because I think like some frogs have venom that hallucinates or something like that. I don't know. I don't think they name the frog itself, but they do give it a little bit of a comparison to that. So Mr. Kumar tells her that he was informed of that, so he wasn't really surprised when she started puking blood, but he couldn't really do it because like it's something where can't self digest, like you just have to like from what I can tell, it was more of an accident that she just got the venom and she that probably being stopped from being fired just probably forced her to start acting up and made her puke and lose consciousness and get hurt, because like initially she's also again hurt and all that stuff, so she is kind of so she's informed of that, and she kind of like still kind of questioning and pissed off the guy didn't warn her, but she can't really do anything. But anyways, the teacher tells her that it should be fine. We'll focus on helping you, and you should just focus on fitting in and be able to have a normal school life. Which, again, I think this is just a foreshadowing to a point that she will consider having a dragon life instead. Not saying that she will pick it, and I could imagine it not wanting it, but I do feel like there might be a moment. Like I would not be surprised if this is leading into a story point where she's gonna run away from home. Like maybe she's gonna learn where her father is, and she's gonna go there or something, and then she's gonna try to be, encounter anyone and that. But anyways, we're gonna have to wait and see how exactly this is gonna go. I don't want to say that the RuriDragon is in danger of getting axed, especially since there's like a lot of manga that are currently leaving Shonen Jump. So I could definitely see something like RuriDragon, skyrocketing in popularity soon, or well, not skyrocketing, but I could see it being like put a little bit more up, become a little bit more popular than in top 20 that she's right now on Shonen Jump. I think she's like 16 or something, or 14. I think she's on that kind of ranking right now. But I could kind of see like, but again, like the one shot ended with the father being introduced and them being like a family together. So I could kind of see a thing where the final moment of the story could be her and her father, although I could just be like a end of the first major arc, and I could see like this leading to be us leading into like a big this being a big of an arc. So yeah, Rui gets told that, and she accepts this and just kind of wants to continue a normal school life. So she just goes back to all the activities. As then we see her like carrying some bags. I'm not sure if those are like trash bags or those are just like random school equipment. They just have shoved in bags or something. But she takes like I think she's holding 2 of them, and she asks if she can carry like 2 more, or maybe two students asking her to carry more. So I am starting to wonder if this is like Rui's strength becoming slower, more up and up, because like I mean she's like, actually I'm having a hard time carrying all those bags. Like those, I mean maybe they're not heavy objects inside, but those are like very like sizable. So they look more like one of those things where it's like it's not heavy, but it's a very inconvenient size. So Ruri kind of may have, so maybe Ruri does have a bit of an increase in strength, but even inconvenient size isn't exactly changing much. So yeah, anyways, Ruri then runs runs to the place where she needs these bags. As then two girls, I'm not sure if these are like just two random girls in school. These two are like two of the committee leaders and all that from a different class. As they're like, hey, that's the one with the horns, right? As the two, as they're like, yeah, that one is, and those are real horns. In fact, I think we even has them covered a bit, like not covered in terms of height, but like covered as in like so no one gets like spiked or nothing. Like maybe it's like a thing to prevent this venom to like increase as quickly. Like maybe kind of horns makes it more difficult, or maybe it's like maybe there was like an incident the first time they were moving around that the horns she got stuck in something. Like I could easily see something like happen, like someone being irresponsible and playing with a ball, and then the ball like falling on Rui's hat, and then on the spikes on her horns, and then just poofing in. And that'd be like now would be angry because it's not Rui's fault. I mean, they were irresponsible by playing with the ball. It's just like it's kind of inconvenience. Regardless, Rui, it yeah, it's very clear. The kids are starting to discriminate against. So like we previously had characters like we more. Oh my god, are you like? Oh, horns are so cool. Can you fly? Oh, do you have big fire? Oh wow, there really is a chick with horns. That's how all of the characters were beforehand, or everyone we've met. Like Rui's class was like that. The teachers seem to be wrong. There really is a student with horns now. The students from a different class were more like, "Wow, those are real." But now, yeah, we are starting to get some of the discriminatory characters appearing and being and calling her freaky. I don't know if really hears that term that they used to call her freaky because she's like running opening to in that direction somewhere else with those bags, while those two are like talking behind her, and they even seem to like try to keep it more hidden. So more like, hey, did you see that girl? That's the girl with horns, right? Freaky, right? So it's kind of a similar. So I'm not certain if Ruri heard those words. Maybe she did because like the way it's kind of structured in the manga panels makes it look like she might have heard that comments. But we'll have to wait and see on that side of things. Like I would not imagine it would take that long before she would probably learn it. Like those two may keep it just to whispers and like gossip talk. But I could see some other students like making a more of a big deal about it, like her. I could see some kid again, like I said, I could see like the next chapter a kid playing with a ball and then throwing it at Ruri not being able to block it or catch it or anything, and then the ball being destroyed, and then someone's throwing a tantrum about it, even though Ruri didn't even want to play or something. We have to wait and see at that front how this story is going to develop and how much of a focus it's going to be, but as things stands, yeah, we are going from the honeymoon to the more dark aspect of something that would happen if someone was a half dragon like Rory is. So yeah, anyways, this is a very nice little, uh, well, information dump chapter as well as like a future things to come chapter. But yeah, anyways, those are all the chapters I've read this week. I think there's also going to be a bit of a delay on chapters for a lot of series next couple of weeks. Like I don't, I think this week it's fine. Well, actually, I think the next week there's got like Sean Jump is gonna be on break or something. So there's gonna be a few chapters to talk about. But regardless, that less of that, I think some artists may still go with normal. Again, like I guess that's a weird time of year for manga because there's a lot less series that because there's like a lot of breaks between it and a lot of series that end unfortunately, but that end in August. How even Jujutsu Kaisen just barely, even Jujutsu Kaisen is like in its final few chapters, just barely gonna leave the August time period, which may actually be a good thing because I think Bleach and My Match are both ending around August. So, well, Manga they're definitely in August. Bleach, I think, also ended in August. So yeah, but regardless, we don't need to make. Let's not make August into the month of manga ending. But yeah, anyways, I hope you liked this video. I hope you leave your thoughts on the chapters that we discussed in the comments below, and the thoughts of any kind of chapters you've been reading this week. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you mortals next time. Goodbye.